Growing up, I endured an insane amount of physical and emotional abuse. Hey there, welcome to day 4 of the 14-day recap on the Family Journal podcast. In episode 4, I tell a personal but dramatic story stating one of the many incidents when I was physically abused. The personal story I told may stir up questions in your heart or maybe thoughts, and you may be tempted to ask me what really happened, what was the problem. But the reason why I told that story was to distinguish between discipline and abuse. Parents often beat children and scold children for the many things they do, but fail to ask them, where did you learn this thing you're doing from? We forget that no child was born with any knowledge. No child was born with the idea of how the world works. A lot of the things children do and say are things they might have heard from someone or might have seen someone do. And these people are not necessarily people far from us. Your driver, their teachers, their classmates, even you, they might have heard you say something crazy over the phone. And they may think it's right to say or do because, mommy and daddy did it. Episode 4 is titled Discipline versus Abuse. And I know a lot of people disagreed with some of the things I said, but I still stand on my word. There is a difference between disciplining a child and abusing a child. Now, what a lot of us think discipline is just raising your hand on a child, slapping the child, hitting the child. Now, while that can be a form of corporal punishment according to the Grecians and the Egyptians from way back, correcting a child is the first way you can actually instill principles in a child. What do we adults call discipline when we refer to ourselves? We call discipline structure, we call discipline time management, we call discipline getting up and doing what you have to do. So discipline is not necessarily hitting or slapping someone. It's creating a way of life in which a person should follow. For example, when you start your family, there are rules and regulations that everybody must follow. Whether mommy or daddy, you can't set rules and regulations that you as an adult cannot follow, and you now wonder where your child is learning to be stubborn from. Hello. What a lot of parents do when it's time for discipline is they just put all their frustration on the children without necessarily correcting them. I chested Cain a lot. Chested Cain to the point that it did not make any sense. Might argue with me that we have some children who are extremely stubborn, but the question again is, where did they learn it from? One crazy thing parents try to do, they cut corners with parenting. You don't start instilling discipline in your child when the child turns 13. You've seen cases where children start reading from the age of 1. We even see cases where parents read to their children who are just 8 or 9 months old. Whatever it is in this life that you want your child to do, you start from small. You must intentionally do it. You do not leave the grooming of your child to their teacher or to anybody, and then tomorrow you ask why your child is stubborn. So the summary of discipline versus abuse was to bring an awareness to Africans, most especially Nigerians. Slapping or hitting your child alone is not discipline. You must have a conversation with that child. Let that child know that every single time they do something crazy, there are consequences for their actions. Teaching children that consequences exist will actually help shape their decisions. Secondly, having conversations with your kids actually builds their emotional intelligence and teaches them a better way to resolve conflicts between them and their peers. To stream Discipline versus Abuse, head over to Spotify, search for the Family Journal podcast, scroll through and check the 4th episode.